Hello, and thank you for joining me here on So Chicks. So, it came to my attention that some people get really confused about my view of God and my interactions with God / goddess / deity. I think I like deity better because it's non-binary. Personally, my view of God is different than other people, and I'm very aware of this. And I try to hold my tongue when I can. It's really hard because it's like my opinion's not the same as you. So today we're going to talk about my view of God and see what you think in comparison, which will be in the comments below if you would so please. Thank you. All right. So I am polymorphic monotheist. Poly, many, morphic, forms. So many forms. Mono, one. Theist, God. There's one God with many faces. Kind of like, think Game of Thrones, the many-faced God. I think that's what it's called. When I was in high school, I was Christian. I was Christian and Baptist, until I was 18, 19-ish, almost. Technically, I was 18. I tried really hard, but I was really hurt, and I didn't want to interact because I didn't like the way modern Christians act. I have nothing against the love and light teachings, but those aren't taught, like, person to person anymore. And I fell out of practice because I don't vibe with the modern Christian. I figured I was, if anything else, probably agnostic, but I didn't do any research into other gods when I was younger. When I got to college, I looked a little into Hecate and all these other gods, and they all seemed correct to me. And knowing that I am polymorphic monotheist, which is what words came to me from the help of friends and some study, and understanding what the words meant, I realized I am polymorphic monotheist, being that, to me, all gods are relevant. All gods are real, all gods exist, but they are all the same God. Now, I've mentioned before, I kind of visualize God as someone who is dissociative identity disorder. Kind of. So basically, they can switch personalities, and that is a different deity. Their trigger would be the correspondences we have with that spirit. So imagine you're using incense for Hecate, you're working with Hecate, you have invoked Hecate. Invoke them from the deity, which is anything, everything, all things, and nothing. I have never said nor thought that God is, or any one God is evil, because I don't believe that. And anyone who says that is honestly just confused. I believe there is good and evil in all, person and deity and inanimate objects that are animate to me because animism, but whatever. Personally, I think it makes sense that the God would be good and evil. If they are not both, then neither can we, because we are them, they are in us. The God is in us and they are in everything. And you even learned it in the Bible. It's like you have the divinity in you. It's in a part of us all. And to me, I even made the argument in my head, it's still a work in progress because it's a very complicated thought to me. If we are all the prince and princesses, children of God the King, and I mean, if you're baptized, I was baptized, then technically we all have divine holy blood. Not entirely. I know this is a very strange concept, but technically. I mean, it's a very, I guess, Protestant idea, but you know, what if? It was an idea. So on God, I get really upset when people are like, you can't work with X deity or Y deity because of reason. It's like, but it's all the same God to me. And I feel like your relationship with God is tailored to you. Each one is different. Just like not every person has the same relationship to their mother and their father. Not every person has the same friendship as you to another person. They will always have a different type of friendship with someone else, even if you've all been there together, because you all vibe different and you all experience things differently. I feel our relationship with God, being, I guess, growing up as a Baptist, is that you should talk to God as if you're talking to a friend. And I always have. I would ask him, and then when something goes very, very awry, and I would be upset, and if I felt it was involved with him, sometimes it's just involved with pure bad luck, because I'm very good with that. But it can change the relationship you have with your deity. Personally, I'm really honest when I talk to the deities. Like, there are moments when I'm like, oh my God, I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to do XYZ. And I'll do that with friends too. Like, oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. Like, I didn't mean to, like, accidentally bump into you. I wasn't paying attention. Like, don't have an injury near me. I will bump it. It's not on purpose. It's like I'm a magnet for, like, causing trauma and pain. I'm sorry. I really am. Like, I'll be like, I'm going to stay on the opposite side of the room as you in your injury, but I'll still hit it. Don't know how. Anyway. It's the same with the deities. Like, I don't offer actual traditional worship and devotion, but I offer my friendship in the same way as I do anyone else. I saw this thing. It made me think of you. I got this for you. Here's something to show you I care. I spent money on this. That cost me time at my work. I spent thought, intention, and love to buy you this gift, to show that I care about you and that I thought about you. And here it is. This is my way of bonding with you, to show you I know the things you like and I hope you like this. I do that with the deities that I work with, and occasionally I'll do that with a deity that I don't typically work with. Like, sometimes I'll be like, this really makes me think of Te Fiti. I want to get this, you know, and all the correspondences with the actual, like, things. Or, wow, this thing of Maui that's like a knockoff of Disney, but it makes me think of actual, like, Polynesian and Hawaiian stuff. I'm like, this is real to me. I know this is kind of, I'm just trying to find the words to express how I mean. Like, maybe I see maybe I see a wooden snake, and it makes me think of Medusa, and I'm like, I just want something to vibe with this energy. Maybe I see something that's more feminine, but dark feminine, like mother, but not quite. It makes me think of Lilith, and I think, oh, I can get this for her. I hope she likes it. Or, oh, this is her pendant, but this is really lovely. I hope she likes it. I'll buy this for her and put this on my altar, or wear it in semblance of her. I'll get gifts for Aphrodite. I'll get gifts for any deity that strikes my attention, because I don't know if it's the ADHD and the idea of being ADHD and the deity spiritually passing through and it catching the empath's ADHD, and me thinking of them, or if it's just because of my view of God being polymorphic monotheist, I just see it and I think, oh, this is a way to bond with that deity that I do care about, because I love all the gods. I mean, I still think Zeus is a man whore, and I still think Yahweh is like an asshole, but like, I'll also tell my friend, like, I mean, that's kind of a bitch move, but like, whatever. Like, I'll still tell you, because I'm your friend. So I'll be like, I disagree with you. And if me and you get off on the wrong foot, I'd be like, yeah, I think you're a fucking bitch. But if, like, we can still be friends and I told you that you're being a fucking bitch, then we're fucking friends, I guess. Like, fuck. Like, sometimes, like, half the time I say that I'm being a bitch, because I know I'm being a bitch. Sorry, it's just, I try. I really do try, because I realize after I've done it that I'm being a bitch. And I'm like, I'm not trying to be a bitch. I'm just, like, really, like, cold turkey, this is what you got. And my views with the deities are similar, because it's like, it's not an intimidation factor trying to fight with God or say, like, you're a sack of shit. It's more like, I don't like the way your actions reflect who you are. I don't like the way our relationship is. And from my perspective, you're an asshole. Because, like, you can be good as gold, and somebody can see you as perfect and wonderful and glorious, and then go to one other person who they maybe cut off in traffic and they think that guy's a fucking dick. I don't want to see that guy. Get that guy, get him out of here. Like, it just really depends on who you're talking to, because each relationship is different. No two people, even if you had like Siamese twins who were raised together for every step of the way and every part of their religion, they would still have a different image of God. God would still be seen differently. When they close their eyes, their image of them would be different. And the way they think of God and their relationship to God would still be different because each person is their own. And I think each deity creates like their own relationship with you. Now, I don't know how to describe my understanding of like polytheist religions in relation to being polymorphic monotheist. Like, how does Zeus and Hera marry if they're the same person? I don't know. And that's okay. Because God is both everywhere and nowhere. So it's almost like it's a hive mind of dissociative personality. I don't know if that makes sense. But it's my idea that I work with as I work with my God. And it makes sense to me. Even if I can't articulate it to make sense to anyone else, I am content with it. And being told, like, you can't work with this God or you can't work with the God in that way is like, this is my relationship with the deity. I'm respectful and I show them that I care and I work with them as best I can. But I don't believe that they're necessarily going to be that same kind of selfish because they're all the same God to me. And some people get really offended at that. How could you have that opinion? How could you have that thought? Like, because that's the way I view God. I don't have to view God the same way as anyone else. I don't have to have the same relationship to God as anyone else. I don't have to think that they're perfect and good. I mean, clearly not. Literally, like the third or fourth page of the Bible, Yahweh's like, yup, created women. They were hot. They made babies. There's less divinity in everyone. I fucked up. Wipe that shit out. Like, just start over. Then they apologize later, but still, like, they thought, like, I made a mistake. Fuck it all. Like, damn. It's the same with any other deity. You've seen Hephaestus make the mistake of, like, locking, was it Ares and Aphrodite together? Like, ho, ho, ho. So clever are you. Don't think you thought this through, honey. But it's to make them more personable, to make them more relatable, to make them understand, like, to you, like, you can understand what they're thinking, the way they act, and their personality. Maybe they don't really do these bumbling idiot type of things, but it lets you know. This is a God of wrath. This is a God of jealousy. This is a God of somewhat humor. This is a God who knows who they're working with and is capable of error, but is also capable of great perfection. And that perfection, I think, is found in the relationships between each of us. And it's like very complex and beautiful and confusing, but also relaxing to know that every relationship is going to be different. And you shouldn't stress over your relationship with God because it shouldn't be forced. Every relationship should come as it is. And if it has to be forced, then you might need to take a break. And I think that's okay too. Maybe you need to step away from your deity. I have moments where I'm not in a mental safe space to work with my deity. And I step back. Because it's not fair to them, and I need that space. And my deity doesn't chase me, typically. My deity doesn't fight to be in my presence. My deity just lets me have the space that I need to get better before I can properly bond with them and properly work with them and show my love and my interest in what they are and who they are. And I love every deity so much, even the ones that piss me off. I'm like, Zeus, you're an asshole, fuck you. But also, like, I saw this and thought of you, so, like, here you go. Like, can't change what you did, but I still care. I know that's stupid, and I only really listed, like, a couple things, but that's the way I view God, and I think that's important. And I think more people should talk about their view of God, because although it's very taboo and it's very scary to talk about religion, like, people to talk about religion in public is taboo, I think, because you're afraid that your vision of God is going to be seen as wrong. And by putting your vision of God, you are shaking the very foundation of what you are, because we, as an evolved species, see God, and that is how we make our consciousness. Like, that gives us purpose. Like, where are you going when you die? Are you going nowhere? Okay, that's your view. And you're entitled to view that we go nowhere. I want to be turned into mulch. I want to be eaten by the worms. I want to be turned into mushrooms, actually. That'd be lovely. I can make a fairy ring, and then I'd be the portal to help someone else go somewhere cool. And that'd be neat. But, like, it's your view of God. It's your view of the afterlife. It's your view of the divinity that shapes your world. And to argue it shakes your very foundation of your very being. To shake your being is scary. And it's why I think we don't talk about how we physically see God in our heads. Physically, mentally, whatever. Visualize our God. Because if we, having read the same book and see two different images, as most people are prone to do when reading a novel or any type of book, we will see something different. And that's scary. But I think it's beautiful, because to me, they are all the same and different, and their differences are what make them so beautiful. Because it's the same entity, but in different lights and in different faces. And I think each one is tailored to you and your culture and to the way you have lived your life and experiences. I think God wouldn't just come in one face to all people. Because the same God that meets the Aztecs is not going to be the same God that meets the Persians. It's going to be a different face. But I think it's the same God. They're just trying to appeal to a different people. And I think we get scared to think that they're so alike. Because we don't want to be wrong. But we're not wrong. We're all right. And that's omnism. But how do you view God? How do you view your relationship? Do you view it as more of subservient, or do you view it as more equal ground? Not in a hubris or kind of insulting way, but more of a, we are one and we are with each other, kind of. How do you view and work with God? Do you get frustrated with your deity occasionally? I know plenty of people do. Most people like to hide it, but you do. And I don't think it's bad to be frustrated. We get frustrated with everyone. Let me know in the comments below. Please like, share. All right. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. It would mean the world to me. Thank you so much. Thank you for joining me on Sosa Checks. I was Miss Izzy. I don't know if I did a great introduction. I can't recall. But bye.